very good afternoon to all of you. Now, many of you would have seen the press conference held by Josephine Teo, Indrani Raja, and the CEO of ACRA yesterday to try and explain the fiasco involving the disclosure of NRICs in the BizFile profile search. All right? Now, were you convinced by the explanations given by the three of them? I was not. You know, when this fiasco broke on the 9th of December, all right, and it was revealed by Bertha Hansen in a very long article, what was the government's immediate reaction after that? Oh, they were indignant, weren't they? They told us, why, what's the problem? The NRIC number is just like your name. You're identified by it. What's the problem of letting people know your NRIC number? That was the attitude. And then gradually, when they saw that the people were not buying that argument and in fact were furious about the invasion of their privacy, they changed tack, didn't they? Then they said, oh, ACRA ran ahead of the government's intentions of changing the order of things. And then what happened yesterday? But you know, in between, in the first phase, the government spokespersons, you know, including some very prominent people whom I will not name, came out in their defense and said, yes, the NRIC is just like your name. Why do you protest about your NRIC being disclosed? Yeah? And then what happened yesterday? That indignation turned into a mea culpa, didn't it? Sorries were sprinkled throughout the press conference. I lost count of how many times the three of them said sorry. But the matter should not end there, because the reasons given were totally incoherent and unconvincing, which is why People's Voice is the only party to date that has called for a commission of inquiry to be convened by Taman. You know, my friends, under the Inquiries Act of 2007, Section 3, the President has the powers to convene a commission of inquiry if he thinks that a very serious public interest is involved. And you would agree with me that this is a serious matter. And this is a matter which affects every single Singaporean. Doesn't affect just a section of our society, affects every single one of us. Which is why the fury expressed by Singaporeans in this matter is overwhelming and far exceeds every other blunder and fiasco that the PAP has committed this year, which there are many. Let me just name you a couple. Simply Go, all right? Or I call Simply Go Stan, they went backwards. And then, you know, you had that abortive income insurance sale. Yeah? My friends, what do these three incidents show us? Simply Go, income insurance, and now the NRIC fiasco. It shows that the decision-making process in the government is flawed. Yeah? And I will not for a moment agree that the process should stop with the press conference yesterday. There are so many unanswered questions. Now, the CEO of ACRA said that when the circular, she put it down to a misunderstanding of an MDDI circular that had gone out in June this year. All right? Now, a commission of inquiry would be appropriate to examine the language of that circular You would agree, right? How was it worded? Why did Accra get it wrong? Why wasn't there clarification? Well, the CEO of Accra said that they tried to clarify with MDDI and that, that there were gaps or lapses or whatever. And I think the impression she gave was that the clarification was not satisfactorily carried out. That's the impression I got, all right? How can that be the case? On a matter of such importance, when the whole paradigm has been changed, and previously for at least the last half a decade, Singaporeans were told, oh, the IC is so important, the IC number is so important, it must never be disclosed. When such an important paradigm change is being introduced, why was concrete, absolute clarification not obtained first? So let's examine that in a commission of inquiry. Number two, despite this concrete clarification not being obtained, who in Accra eventually made the decision that it should be, the IC number should be unmasked in the new business profile search? When I saw the press conference, the CEO gave me the impression that she was not involved in this decision making. And I want to know why. Why on such an important matter was the CEO not involved? Who eventually in Accra made that decision? This must come out in the commission of inquiry. Okay? And the press conference went to say, oh, the public will be consulted in 2025 on the changes necessary. Well, I would like to ask the question, why was the public not consulted on such matters in 2024 before the changes were proposed and introduced by MDDI apparently, all right, in the middle of the year? And then what was astounding was that it said, oh, we are going to speed up the education of Singaporeans on the proper use of the IC number. My friends, this to me is what we call Tai Chi, all right? Singaporeans have been schooled for the last at least 5 years on how the NRIC number should be used. If the government thought that re-education or further education was necessary, they should have done that. They should have done that in 2024. My friends, this reason about consultation, education, appear to me to be afterthoughts. All right? I don't take them seriously. I think these are afterthoughts. All right? Put in to try and assuage the public fury over this incident. And finally, the Commission of Inquiry must find out how many IC numbers have been downloaded. Indrani Raja was not prepared to give the number yesterday. She said they were still checking. My friends, it has been at least 1.5 weeks since the scandal broke. All these are computerized, digitalized. It doesn't take even half a day, in my opinion, to get the figures. In conclusion, too many unanswered questions. We mustn't carry on the way we do, just having ministers give press conferences. It is time we rectify the situation through a proper commission of inquiry. Thank you.